I'm going to start to get into the right position, because being in the right position is everything, especially when it comes to the deadlift. Otherwise you might hurt your back, or won't be able to progress as quickly as you can. First things first, before you start any kind of deadlift, you want to be able to use the diaphragm to stabilize your core. So you have to be able to breathe in the belly, make a big belly, and then stiffen up to stabilize, get the core really tight. Otherwise you're going to get, if you want to or not, lower back pain if you're not trying to stabilize up here. Now, second thing is to get into the right position. When you do the deadlift, you always want to maintain a neutral spine. To be able to do that, I think it always helps to do that in front of the mirror if you want to train yourself, or have you record yourself, or have somebody giving you a direction. Haley's going to start to get in the right deadlift position. Remember, deadlift means that we're lifting from the hips, so the pivot point is right here. Don't lift from your knees. You might have, especially at the beginning, slight bend in the knees to get in the right position, especially if we don't have enough hip mobility. Nevertheless, the goal is to just move everything from the hip. Well, obviously we use the hamstring calves, but the pivot point is in the hip. Hey, just get into the right position. The best way, the easiest way that I learned over the years is actually get people just to hold on, to bring the hands on their knees. Now you see Haley is in the perfect position here. Her spine is nice and straight, so here she has the neck packed, and then the lower spine is in a straight line. You can check yourself to maintain this position. So if you pick a nice line, you can use a bar or like a PVC pipe, and you have 3 points where you should be able to have contact. So one is on the head, the second one is between the shoulder blades, and the third one is on your second, so basically on the lower back. So as you move through the deadlift, if you come up, Haley, you're going to see, and then at the end she engages the glute, squeezes the buns to get in a neutral position. She maintains this neutral spinal position. This is the strongest position for you. So if you go back down, it's karate chop to the hips go backwards and to your pelvic tilt, and she's back into that same position. So nice and straight, she maintains that very well. Now, if you have trouble to get into the right position, you can do the following. You can go down on the ground. You want to have an idea, okay, what does it mean actually to do anterior and posterior pelvic tilt? So you can go on all your four, and then you can just go like the camel and the cat, go back and forward. Now try to maintain, just do it from the hips more lately. You see like her hips moving back and forward. So obviously you don't want to be in this position, or you don't want to be too high extended. So you want to be dialed back a little bit. Breathe into the belly, so the anterior core should be engaged. We'll keep the rib cage a little down, core tight. So this is the perfect position. This core is engaged, the spine is straight. That's the position you want to maintain throughout the deadlift. Now, the next step is to do a deadlift from the box, and you can, start like from a higher box and then work your way down. So I usually use the kettlebell, just get a nice grip to it, go in a nice straight position. What you want to do, Haley, you can bring the feet a little more to the side and go a little closer towards them. That's it. So think about like deadlift, you want to have the center of gravity as close towards you as possible. Don't be out here, because that's a law of leverage. It makes it harder. So you want to have here the weight pretty much between your legs. Yeah? She's in the same position, core engaged, and then just drive from your hips and squeeze the buns. Now karate chops to the hips, back straight, nice and clean. Yeah? They do one where you round the back a little, so let's see the difference. So this is what you want to avoid. Yeah? Chest out, yeah? Get back into the position, starting position. Another thing that is important, once you have this nice straight line, you want to pack the lats. Yeah? So shoulders shouldn't be like forward, they should be backwards and packed from the sides. Yeah? A lot of tension here. They maintain there. When you come up, what I often see that people come up and they start to shrug. Haley does it very well. She keeps the arms straight and keeps the shoulders packed. So don't do this. Keep the arms straight. Yeah, keep them packed, nice and clean. One more time. Through the hips. Squeeze the buns. Good. Now we could go the next step and do the same thing with the lower. See, still perfect position from the hips. Good. Now, another thing is when you do this movement, I can go back. You want to, as you see, you want to have the whole foot on the ground. Very often people start to squat and you see them actually standing more on the forefoot. So when you go into the position, you want to feel the whole foot on the ground, but rather be on the heel than on the forefoot. So if you go in the position, Haley. So right now, just come, for example, like a little more down, squat a little more down. So sometimes people sit in this position, and that's where you want to. You are going to use your quads a little more. We want to deadlift the whole weight though. So what we want to do, we want to actually move the hips up. Spine stays in the same position. Now you see the hips are all the way up, and now you can really work just from the hamstring. When you have the tension in the hamstrings, that's really the position. From there, you just have to drive the hips forward and squeeze the buns. Boom. Very good. Nice. Okay. Now, next up, from here, excuse me, we're going to move to the regular deadlift. Now, you can do it as with this one, with the Olympic bar. We have just for showing purposes, shorter bar or Olympic bar. You can also use the trap bar, which is a great device. I like it a lot because the center of gravity actually moves towards you, versus when you have, in this case, the weight in front of you slightly. With the trap bar, you're like right here, so it moves a little bit backwards. It's a little bit easier to lift that way. You have a little bit less leverage from the lower back. Haley, going back into that right position. So try to get a little bit higher, yeah, get into, good. Now, take the shoulders, breathe into the belly, full tension, and then drive through the hips. Squeeze, good. Stay on the heel, excellent, very good, nice job. Now, you saw Haley did actually with a double over grip. It is usually easier, especially when you go to the maximum, to do one under grip and one over grip. Yeah, so you can alternate them if you want to have the same demand on latissimus and on lower back, etc. But you can hold more weight if you alternate the grips. Do another one with alternating grips. On the heel, squeeze. Good, very nice, perfect. Now one more thing is, when you do the deadlift, you want to pack the neck. So Haley does it up here very well. Her neck is packed. You don't want to be, move the head a little forward, like, yeah. You don't want to be here, you want to be all the way back. You want to feel the tension already in your upper traps. So one thing that to make it perfect, Haley, do the same thing, but when you go down, keep the head also packed when you're in the down position. Good. Hips a little higher. All right, one more time. Neck down, head down. Good. That's a perfect deadlift.